Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true.
Hey guys, so many of you liked the first scary story, uh, personal experience that I've had that I posted the other day. So got some time today, and I figured I'd tell you the next one that's pretty significant to me. So growing up, we lived in a trailer house, right? Me and my brother shared a room, and it was at the end of a very long hallway, a hallway that led from kitchen and living room down to the end of the bedroom. So before my dad added on to the house, my brother and I slept in a bedroom that's actually in the hallway, a very small bedroom. And we were always scared of this hallway. It was just a long hallway. It was dark. Lights wouldn't always get left on. I remember quite a few times being a kid and being terrified to wake up in the middle of the night and go use the restroom. So a lot of times, I'd wake up, get to the doorway, peek to the right, peek to the left, make sure there was nothing, and I would sprint to the restroom, or I would sprint to my parents' room to go sleep with them because I was scared. So this hallway was always scary to us. So fast forward a few years, we move into the room at the end of the hallway. It's a regular day. That I recall, there was nothing special about that day. My brother and I go to bed. We have bunk beds. I sleep on the top because I was the oldest. And we always slept with the door to the room open. We never closed the door. So the beds were also lined up directly with the doorway. So I'm laying in bed. All of a sudden, I just wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know what time it is. I know it's very late. All the lights are off. There's no noise in the house. And so this hallway, being a trailer house, had the back door to go out the back. And on that back door, that back door had a window on it. So I guess it was a full moon that night, and the moonlight was shining in pretty brightly through the window. So I wake up and I sit up. And as I sit up, of course, because my bed's lined up with the hallway, I'm looking straight down the hallway. And I see a figure coming down the hallway. It's really tall. I can see that it has some sort of trench coat. Being a kid, I remember thinking that looks like Dick Tracy's trench coat. If you remember Dick Tracy, the old show, the detective, when we were kids. I was born in '86, so a lot of you might not know what that is, but I used to watch Dick Tracy a lot, and it reminded me of Dick Tracy because he also had a hat. Now, between the hat and the coat, or the trench coat, was completely black. From where the trench coat ends on the arms, where your hands should be, completely black. From where the trench coat ends, right about at the knees, down, completely black. And I wouldn't even say it was walking down the hallway. It was more of a glide. There was no footsteps. You couldn't see feet, first of all. And with the moonlight shining in through the window, it was very clear that this was something in the shape of a person with the hat, with the trench coat, walking down the hallway. Now I'm sitting up in my bed, and I look at it for a few seconds as it's coming down the hallway, and instead of coming into my room, it actually turned to the left, which would be my right, into the restroom. Now, our restroom door was notorious for squeaking. It didn't matter how much oil or WD-40 or whatever we put on the hinges. You always knew when somebody was opening that restroom door. It turned in there. There was no noise, no light turned on. Just like it turned into there, and that was it. Now, I was terrified at what I saw. I was more terrified after it turned into the restroom, but didn't make any noise, just disappeared, because at least I could justify before, like, hey, is that my dad getting home really late and walking down the hallway? Like, what's, who is that? So when it just disappeared, I knew it was something paranormal. It was something not of this world. So I threw myself back and threw the blankets over my head and just prayed that this thing would not come into my room to do anything to me or to my little brother. I go to sleep, I guess, just in fear, laying there under the blankets. I end up falling back to sleep. I wake up in the morning. My parents are in the kitchen, my mom's making breakfast. I sit down at the table, and I can't wait to tell them what I saw the night before. And I told my dad, and he tried to play it off and make a joke out of it. He's like, oh, your grandpa came over late last night to visit or whatever. And I mean, I was a little kid, but I didn't really buy that. I knew he was probably just protecting me from the truth, that there actually was something in the house like that. So I didn't know what I saw. Fast forward many years later, and the internet is all over the place now, and social media, and I'm scrolling, and I see a picture of the man that I saw in the hallway that night as a little kid. And it's the Hat Man, and it turns out it's this whole global phenomena. So many people have seen the Hat Man, and I did find out also that most of the people in the world have only seen him one time in their life. And I was actually very fortunate, because most people get sleep paralysis. It's even more terrifying than what I had gone through, and I've had sleep paralysis too. That's a story for another video. But I was very fortunate that that didn't happen to me. All I did was see him. So that's the story of the Hat Man. I'll get back on here again later and tell you some more stories, because like I said in my first video, I have quite a few. So hit the follow button, hit the like button, repost, and if you enjoy my content, see you guys soon.